So what's your name?
Hi, my name is Cedric, and I'm part of the McMaster Engineering program.
What made you decide to enroll in engineering at McMaster University?
Quite a few things. It was one of the few universities that allowed you to continue your education in engineering from college, and it was really accessible for my situation at the time.
When you applied to McMaster, what was the interview application process like?
For the application process, I'd say mine's a little bit different because I applied to a program that was a continuing education program, so the degree completion program for BTech. And essentially, I had to have high enough grades from my college education in order to get in, as well as prove that I've done some co-op in the past. So it might be a little bit different, but that's the general idea of what happened.
Would you say overall that the education quality that you're getting at McMaster in engineering is of high quality?
I would say so, yeah. It's definitely expanded my horizons. I met a lot of different professors who kind of like work in different various fields, not just mechanical. They also did electrical, computer, and all that stuff. And having access to all the different technologies and stuff on the university was very great. So I'd say, yeah, it's quite high quality.
What's something you think that's available at McMaster that wouldn't be available at other universities?
I'd say definitely the access to the community here, especially the professors, because they all have a range of different experiences and things that they can teach. For example, my one professor from robotics, he just happened to be the guy who worked on the dinosaurs on Jurassic Park in the original movies and worked on the Canadian arm for the space program for NASA. So that's a great thing about McMaster. You can meet a bunch of different people.
Do you think that the education that you've received at McMaster and the networking opportunities have helped you find work for after you graduate? Because you're in your final year, right?
Yeah, I'm in my final year, and I definitely say so. I'm trying not to boast or anything, but I just happen to have 5 people waiting for me to graduate. So time is really ticking down. And funny enough, one of them who's waiting for me is actually a fellow graduate of my program. So I'd say yes, it definitely can help you network and find a job for the future.
What advice would you give to someone who's interested in studying engineering at McMaster?
I'd say my biggest advice for wanting to study engineering is don't be afraid of the math. Give it a try. There's so many different aspects to engineering, not just math that everybody thinks, but just give it a try it out, and don't be afraid to try new avenues and see what you're good at in engineering, because you could just be good at 3D modeling, or you could be good at drawing, or you can be good at the material stuff. So don't be afraid and try whatever you want.
How many branches of engineering are available at McMaster?
There's so many. I actually just had to look them up just to double check. But I'm actually in one of the subsets of engineering at Mac, which is the BTech program. And for us, we have things ranging from manufacturing, which is what I'm in, to computer, electrical, biotech. And then as for engineering itself, I saw that there was mechanical, chemical, different variants of electrical and computer engineering. So there's a lot to choose. And like I said, don't be afraid to pick one, try it out. And who knows, you can try other types of engineering. Especially in my program, for example, we do mechanical, electrical, and computer, and a little bit of civil. So, we get a taste of everything, which is great.
Do you have any advice on how students can submit a more competitive application to gain admission to engineering?
Funny enough, there's actually a lot of ways. You might not think about it, but there's a course in engineering called Creativity and Innovation. So in my case, I was a bit creative because I have a bunch of fun hobbies, including cosplay, and I'm also an Olympic-style fencer. So with cosplay, actually, I practice my engineering skills building different props like armor and weapons and all that type of stuff. And funny enough, I actually made a friend who's a computer engineer and who's one of the people waiting for me to get a job after I graduate. As for me being a fencer, because of that knowledge of how swords are built and used for fighting, I actually got a job working in steel because I know how metallurgy works and can relate to the different qualities of steel. So don't be afraid. Sometimes the hobbies that you think aren't correlated can actually connect you and actually help you in your networking. Even with cooking, surprisingly, I used to be a head cook, and because of my experience there, I'm able to help work and guide teams in order to finish projects and work with everything in engineering. So don't be afraid to try things.
So you think that pretty much any skill in life or anything that you like will have transferable skills to different avenues in life, but particularly engineering?
Yeah, they can. Like I mentioned before, I used to be a cook, and being in charge of people and making sure like your product always comes out with great quality and the customer is satisfied, you can easily apply that into engineering. And I also had a professor teaching me, funny enough, in quality assurance. He talked about a worker who used to be a forklift driver. Because he knew how to move all the material and make sure the quality was good, he actually became the CEO or the leaders and basically ran the company because of that experience. So don't be afraid to exercise. And like I said, if you take the same course as me, creativity and innovation, use that creative thinking and solve problems.
What's something that you think is special about studying in Canada specifically that you don't think you could get anywhere else?
I would say it'd be the whole community and diversity aspect. Having a difference in opinion allows you to really think and operate in different ways that maybe before that wasn't the solution, but now you have that different view. It is the solution, as well as being able just to be exposed to different people from different walks of life. Like I said, when I was doing some work, people didn't know I was a cook, but because I had that knowledge, I can apply it, and we ended up fixing some problems that they wouldn't have thought so otherwise. But definitely the community and being able to have access to different people and different points of views.
What's something you wish you knew before you went down the path of becoming an engineer?
It's always a fun question. Whenever you say engineering, everybody thinks of Iron Man, or in my case, it'd be like anime Gundams and all that stuff. It's not always like that. Obviously, there's a lot of math and you have to study a bunch of different sciences. But I'd say just make sure you research how you want to go about it. I kind of wish I did that at the beginning because I didn't know about the college into university aspect, which gave me the practical and the theoretical side. So like I said, just be open and make sure you look and maybe ask around because you never know. Sometimes when you talk to somebody, it can actually lead you down that path you never knew you wanted to go down. So
does the engineering program at McMaster University offer a lot of opportunities for internships or co-ops? And do you think that's a valuable resource?
I would say so. I had a couple of friends in the past few semesters. They had co-ops and stuff, and they were able to find some. And it seems like their experience working at different places definitely helped them in their education. And I know for a fact a lot of people nowadays are looking for a previous experience in order to even get hired at basic level jobs. So definitely for sure, getting a co-op, whether it be at McMaster or like in my case for the BTech program in your college portion with McMaster, definitely helps in the future for sure.
After experiencing Myls' interview, what aspects did you find the most useful?
I like the different questions that the program was asking. It really allowed you to explore how the school can test your thinking as well as help you learn how to use different thinking methods in order to answer and ask questions in the future, especially during your education.
Do you think that the advice that the software gave you is relevant to what you're actually learning at the school and what you think that the program is looking for?
I like the different feedback that it gave. It was really interesting to see all the different stats and charts. I definitely think it can help relate or correlate to however you want to analyze that information and use it for your education, because who knows, maybe that could be your starting point for computer science or something like that. But I do find it very useful and interesting to see how you can perform in order to get into the school.
Do you think that a tool like Myls' interview can significantly impact a candidate's performance, and why?
I think it can, just because it can give you a perspective on what the university is looking for, as well as like what to expect in the program, just because it gives you a different perspective with those interesting questions that it gave, and can really give you literally a sneak peek of what to expect in university, because the different types of thinking you have to use are honestly quite similar to those different types of questions, and it makes you stay on your feet and help you push forward and improve yourself. So I'd say yes. The software is also really good because it's also a perfect example to allow you to practice interviewing for school or even in the job place afterward. But using this software is really great because you can interact and see where you need improvement for interviews for school or even in the future. So I'd say it's a great useful tool to give you like a taste of like what's to come for practice.
When you were looking for a home in Hamilton, how did you go about finding a place that you could commute to McMaster easily?
Definitely with the help of the community. There's a lot of McMaster sponsored and hosted things on like Facebook and other social media that I definitely used and explored in order to find a place. It also definitely helps if you have like friends in the community, because everybody looks out for each other. So definitely I'd say communication and community definitely helps with finding a place, because that's how I found my current place right now for a good price.
If you don't mind, about how much does it cost to rent in Hamilton?
I got really lucky because it was a family friend, but I've heard anything between 500 to about almost 1,000, depending on like who the landlord is and everything like that. But I'd say that's about the range that I've heard personally.